crazy with it, you know? He wants to win the lane pretty hard, and I think that might have costed him the game had he not survived the previous dive. So I want to see whether or not he's going to tone down, or whether the team is going to like really focus on him in the draft to give him like a hella winning matchup.
Well, Jushin has been banned out, so that's the first good news. I feel like something is open. What is it? Hilda, Matilda, the Alpha,
Fulvius
yeah,
as
so
well.
Matilda.
Yeah, Matilda. All of it is open. Ooh, this could be pretty interesting here, because now that Jushin is gone, at least Artillery Mages might just come back in. If not, we'll see where the jungle and supports are gonna go. Usually it's a flex pick for the opener, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm thinking Cho.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, it's banned out. Ah, shucks.
Hilda as well. Hilda is still a good pick. Like, it didn't work out in game number 1, but I can still see it doing quite well. Maybe pick up a priority mid for now, you know? Maybe pick up the Valentina before he gets banned out.
That could work. That could work. Both are decent. I feel like EVO's Holy is more inclined to pick up, like, I don't know, Yves Gatot, Yves Khalid or something.
Eve is one I forgot about.
Yeah, something along those lines, just to kind of like set the tone. Okay, so Hilda, Alpha. Ooh.
This is kind of good because it also shows AI, hey, if you want to pick up the Fredrin, I can fight back. I'm Alpha, and he does pick up the Fredrin. So, Gideon, if I've ever seen an ego challenge, this is it.
It could be. It could be. Ooh.
Dude, if Fredrin wins against Alpha, then yes, Fredrin is coming back to the meta, Gideon. I'm telling you, I'm telling you. If
I'm
Fredrin
very
wins this one, I'm very upset, dude. It's not just you.
I think there's a good case to be had here for Fredrin going into the jungle. I think, and I hope that he does go into the EXP and this Arlet goes somewhere else, but it just feels like it has to go into the jungle. There's just no choice.
Get in. You already have a Matilda, so that's your roam. You already...
That could be their mid laner.
I mean, sure. You know what? Cope is good. Right? So
I don't know. It just feels so weird. It just feels so weird at the meta that we have right now. And I think that EVO's Holy, even smartly enough, instead of saying, you know what, instead of a square of influence, let's just play Aurora and we can basically fight anywhere at any time.
yeah. So I really want to see. Okay, so AI Esports, one thing that opens up the draft, right? If Fredrin really comes back, then you can really have, like, letting your gold lane and your mid lane to be the main damage dealer. So instead of picking up a mid laner that has crowd control, something like a Vexana, something like an Aurora, maybe they can just go up straight damage. Picking up something like the Farsas for, you know, something like that, something that can do a lot. The Veil, we've seen the Veil as well. The Veil could be good. The only thing is, EVO's Holy, I'm wondering, why did they pick up the Aurora? Isn't it like traditionally good going up against the Fredrin using an Eve?
That's what I would imagine as well, but I guess there could be the possibility of, you know, the Valentina coming through, but then again, they could just technically just ban out the Valentina as well in the second phase. So unless they had something else in mind, because again, we don't see Kadita very often, only here in SPS do we see it pop out a couple of times. The Farmist shows up, which could indicate that they could go glue into the EXP if necessary.
You're smart. Get in, you're smart.
Thank you.
Hilda and Aurora in the mid. AI Esports, they really need something with a lot of range to make sure they don't get poked out in mid. The Eve is still open. Honestly, AI can still pick up the Eve and then have a lot of control for themselves. AI Esports batting out the Grok as well as the High Loss, so really not wanting any more big, beefy front line here. Like, Hilda and Alpha is good enough. But the Gatot is open though.
Yeah, the Gatot is opened. So again, if they're worried about disengage, I think they haven't really hit the mark on it. But if they're talking about just big, beefy frontliners, I mean, sure, but Gatot was the big overlap and usually the more popular ban rather than the Grok. So unless they've been doing like a lot of research on what EVO's Holy has been bringing out in their previous drafts, this feels a little targeted.
Yeah, it does feel like, yo, you wanna pick up that juicy Gatot. We don't have anything planned. Pick up the Tigreal instead. That's actually a very good pick.
I think this is better. I think this is a lot better because now it's instant gratification. You can guarantee this combo between the Aurora as well as the Tigreal to pop off, vice versa. I like the idea a lot because AI Esports, it feels like they want to play for counter engage anyways with the final slash.
Yeah, but now AI Esports, they can take a very long-range marksman because I don't see a lot of ways for EVOS Holy to dive to the backline.
Good point.
Instead, they pick up the Moskov, which is, like, kind of close.
I mean, it's close enough. At least you can take the Purify on it. That's the most important part. As long as it has Purify, I think it's fine. Last pick, though. Last pick would
They need damage. They need some form of damage here. Like something early game, you know?
Early game?
Valentina is still okay. Valentina getting that Tigreal ult, that would be amazing. Eve, alright. I would say Eve still does okay damage in the early game.
Yeah, they kind of do. I mean, they kind of generally keep doing the same things. I think that Valentina is a lot more forgiving in comparison to the Eve, because again, once the Hilda's on top of you, what are you gonna do? You, drop the blast on top of yourself? Like, there's no clear means of getting away from her. So I think this is not bad from the side of AI Esports. A pretty, honestly, like a very traditional comp. Like, I can imagine this 2-3 seasons ago.
Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. This feels like 2-3 seasons ago. Except this time, the Moskov can have a Malefic gun, so he has additional range. So EVOS Holy, fighting back, either get big AoE or a tank shredder. She needs to take down the Frederick. What are you thinking about?
I'm thinking about, does he go... Oh, that's also a really good option here. I like EVOS Holy's draft as well. Very high execution, a lot of great ways to kind of close out this game fast. I think that AI Esports, it's easier to pull off, but the conditions are very based on their side lanes. I'm wondering whether or not Malefic Gun is worth rushing over the Trinity.
I feel like he will only rush the Malefic Gun if he keeps getting pressed. If he's having a good time, I feel like he'll just continue the Trinity item. But let me just say, EVOS Holy really has a good counter draft here. Based on what AI Esports has shown, the picks that they pick up is like, okay, you have A, B, we got C here, and then we got D. Like, you feel the alpha is for the Fredrin, like considering the Fredrin is going to get picked up, and then the Tigreal as well, to control everyone when they want to clump up. The X factor here for me personally is gonna be that Moskov. If the Moskov doesn't get caught, if Alita continues to be insane, AI might close this off with 2-0.
I think that, I mean, I believe that Alita could be insane, but it'd be more impressive if he takes like Inspire, something that truly ego challenge. Like, I don't need Purify, like I'm just that good. I think that would be a much bigger statement than anything else. But you know, I would imagine Purify is the way to go. So let's head on over to game number 2. It's gonna be AI Esports on that blue side, first pick up against EVOS Holy on red side as their second pick.
Looking at this Fredrin jungle makes me feel young again.
It's not that old, dude. It's not that old.
Depends on who you ask. You know? Either ways, like looking at the emblem setup here, tenacity for both gold laners. Probably looking at getting ganked pretty often. Hilda from Fluffy is very interesting. Instead of going for double defense, he just went for Vitality and then wielded his Blessing. So we're actually going to see Fluffy moving around more often in this game.
I like it. I like it. I like those types of setups because it just goes to show that it's like, honestly, in lane, I'm expecting you to do like a bit of work, but it doesn't really matter, right? That's why you're seeing these motions. That's why you're seeing that they're continuously trying to proxy these waves. That's what I like to see about these Hilda and EXP laners who are just all about it. Hey, come, play the macro game with me, and I know that you can't win it.
Something to note here, Gideon, if we're talking about jungle speed, it looks like the alpha is much faster than the Fredrin, because Fredrin got level 4 much later.
Here we go, this is the first engagement. PS now in a lot of trouble, can't deal with the true damage. The regenerating seems good, but the hailstones are just better. That's first blood falling over into the hands of EVOS Holy. Honestly, no surprises that Alpha was able to hit level 4 like way sooner.
Yeah, and it does seem like EVOS Holy saw that rotation a mile away. They were prepared knowing that one of their camps is going to get invaded on. Maybe it's not a good idea for PS to do that when the turtle is about to come up and, you know, this becomes obvious.
Yeah, I think worse yet, PS, I don't think he's able to participate in a lot of these fights as long as Alpha shows up. But here comes the potential dive towards Ying's side. Fluffy is going to force him out straight away. Hits level 4. Pride of Ice drops out, flickers away into the Frigid Breath. Oh, Krite played that perfectly. That could have been disastrous. PS trying to extend, trying to get something back. May Kids, his ult is already back up. You probably don't want to be there any longer. And AI Esports finally calls it quits.
If I was Doctor Strange and I could see the many different futures, I've seen many futures going badly for EVO's Holy on that one. So they overextended, but it was cool. Fluffy killing Lina is not cool if you're an AI esports fan.
It really isn't. It really isn't. But hey, at least Fluffy's doing his job, right? The extra gold helps him out in his lane as well, and you can just see that the rest of EVO's Holy members, it's time to up the ante here, right? Let's start the invades as soon as possible.
Yeah, which really makes sense considering the draft. Having the Alpha, having the Hilda, it wouldn't make sense for you to play this game slow. So I really like the level of aggression, but something to consider is that Krite doesn't have the flicker, so they can be aggressive, but don't overextend. AI Esports, this is why I wanted a little bit more damage coming in mid. I still feel like Eve does enough damage, but maybe someone that does a little bit more. When things go wrong, you have someone that can actually punish mistakes, because if you don't have enough damage, then mistakes won't really be punished. That's, I think, the big factor here whenever we're talking about damage. Damage is a good topic when we're talking about discipline, because good discipline and bad discipline depends whether you die or not.
Yep. True. Actually, very factual, as a matter of fact. Top side gonna get shoved off here, and with that amount of damage and pressure, I think that at least what Krite understands is that he also plays a utility role, right? So he needs to find value. He's not just searching for these kills, but he needs to be a deterrent. Circling Eagle gonna start off that fight as the entire backline gets doved upon. Real War Manipulation doesn't even get to go its full course before getting blown up as PS dies to Airland here. The engage from EVO's Holy, completely ignoring the front line, has worked out phenomenally. 2 for nothing and a free turtle. It's not over yet, when actually Fluffy just making Ying's life a living nightmare, gets pushed away. Sacred Hammer going to be able to finish him off here. Really sad, but look at the level of influence Fluffy has.
There's a lot of different factors there, Gideon. Like, first of all, the fight started with EVO's Holy having 2,000 gold lead, so they have more defenses, they have more damage compared to AI Esports, and only now Lina has the glowing one, so there was no anti-heal in that fight. How are you gonna deal with a Hilda? How are you gonna deal with an Alpha that already has a War Axe when you don't have any form of anti-heal? No items yet on the Fredrin, no items yet on the Matilda, only one item on the Moskov. Bad positioning from AI Esports, but more importantly, items were not there. This is what it looks like when you're being oppressed in the early stages of the game.
It's really rough, and there's a timer to this as well. They're going to be moving towards that purple buff. They first stole orange. They want that mid-tier 1, but it's a little too hard, so they're going to be taking the purple buff as a consolation prize. Wait, lockdown. The RWM actually comes out. The counter engage. SOD does connect, and Alita is back into this fight. It looks like AI Esports have found their responsive. They've taken 2 for 1 in favor of AI. If they can get just one more, this could even the score. Final slash catches 2. Bennett's Rage forcing him out of there. A great engagement coming in from AI Esports. They find 2 back, but it's not enough to completely shut down this score. They take a tier 1 up top side to bring the goal from what used to be 6,000 down to 3.3.
Yeah, I hear you, Gideon. If they got 3, that would be absolutely amazing. But the fact that they got 2 and didn't trade anyone, I would say that's good enough. You know, beggars can't be choosers. And AI Esports, they executed that well, and they didn't overextend. It's a good thing that Ying fall back with the help of Black. If he stayed and then take too much damage from Erlan, then that would be a big mistake. So AI Esports, even in the heat of things, even when they're doing well, the discipline is there. So very good communication coming in from them. Make It still secures the turtle though.
I think so far none of these neutral objectives are even contestable. Like PS has died a little too many times. He may be 0-3 right now, and that sounds bad being in the first 7 minutes of the game, but he's allowed people like Ying, Lina to pick up these kills. And now the next fight is going to begin. Ivan flickering forward, catches 2 final slash to counter engage, but it's not enough. The RWN does damage, but not enough to shred them down. Krite still survives. Airland loses a flicker. Ooh, the empathy doesn't land, but at this point, this is starting to snowball out of control for AI Esports unless they take the initiative, and Fluffy just keeping Alita in place.
I'm still stunned. That was an amazing combo coming in from EVO's Holy. Starting from the trigger roll, amazing implosion, and that's what we want to see coming in from EVO's Holy. Having a team comp that has a lot of combos, right? Everyone from the team, well, except for Hilda, has a combo that they can execute back to back to back to back. And I feel like that was the first showing of what it would look like. And AI Esports, they don't have much ways to counter it unless they have the Purify. And if EVO's Holy times it well, they could just let someone take out the Purify first and then continue to fight again, you know? Like, yeah.
Or you just keep dumpstering PS. I think that PS is too far behind, and by the time he actually gets relevant items to keep himself alive, I think that Erland probably will have like a Malefic Roar by then, so I don't know. It's looking pretty grim for PS. I think the only other way is if Lina is able to scale. I know Alita will eventually get there, but right now they really need Lina in a better position.
Yeah, honestly, I want to check out the items again because this is 8 minutes in. If PS doesn't have a single item online, it's going to be rough. Understandably, tanky heroes, it's okay for you to have components because all you really need is stats. But that shows how far behind you are. If at 8 minutes, going to 9 minutes, and if you don't have one item, that's bad. Even if you have one item, that's still not good. Oh, imagine if you got that though.
I know, I got nervous there for a second. I was like, wait a minute. Thank God Maykits has his retribution and is able to click buttons. So at this point, they guarantee the Lord as expected, and here's where we want to see EVO's Holy really run away with this lead. They can set themselves up for a checkmate against AI Esports if they're able to get at least one inhibitor off of this very first push and at least a 10k gold lead. They're currently 5,000 gold away from that.
You know what's scary right now, Gideon? Ivan and Krite both have Flicker. But Ivan got caught!
Bennett's Rage actually coming out trying to disengage the initial fight, but we don't see the full commitment even after the final slash from the side of AI Esports. The RWM did not want to be unleashed at that point of time, so now, with this off-tempo play, they're going to try and smother the Lord, slow it down with Fluffy on that top side to get the initial push. They will lose the shielding. Oh, does he save it? Nah, not yet. It was still gonna break anyways off of that second wave, but this is a pretty good position to be for EVO's Holy. They don't get too much off of this, but they will get a boost in economy from the tier 2s.
Yeah, right now, EVO's Holy is so far ahead. Majority, everyone is 2 levels ahead of their counterpart. Maykits is 2 level above PS. Fluffy.
He's 1 level.
Okay, Fluffy and Ying
is
just 1 level, but the rest are like 2 levels.
Yeah, everybody else is basically 2 levels. I think the most, the clear one to see is Black and Ivan, right? As supports, they get a consistent amount of EXP every single time, and you can only scale as your lowest income member. So at this point, it's a pretty tough position for AI. I think at this point, unless Ying makes like the ultimate play, and even so, what would that look like? It's probably catching Erland and Krite again. But I don't think they have the damage to just blow them up. Did Lina go for second item Wishing Lantern or?
Yes. Wishing Lantern.
Wishing Lantern.
It's glowing and then Wishing Lantern. Maybe like even I don't know. In this situation, does Lina go for third item? Ice Queen Wand for slows, which I feel like not really, or go for the Divine Glaive.
I agree. I feel like Divine Glaive would have been the more optimal second item because your goal isn't really to poke out Ivan or Fluffy because they have like I mean Fluffy has natural sustain, maybe not so Ivan. and then Wishing Lantern as your third item. Then you have a consistent way to get relevant damage and poke and hurt your opponent. I don't know. That's just purely you know, speculation. It is just an assumption. But at this point, I'll take anything. EVOS with an 8k gold lead, and they're holding it very well.
Yeah, and they're being very disciplined here. They want to play around the Lord, but the only thing is that...
What?
Oh, I didn't even see that coming. It just happened.
He just ate
like
the shots.
He's like, hello, bye-bye. I have Malefic Gun. I can attack away from your own range.
Oh, I don't even think... Like, was he so far off the screen that he couldn't see the projectiles? Like,
I mean, even we didn't see it.
I mean, I saw the first two, and then afterwards I was like, is Black going to respond to this? He's kind of taking a lot of damage, and the next thing you know, he exploded. So, there's that.
Well, right now, looks like EVOS Holy, they want to push their advantage. Majority of the members are down at the bot side, but honestly, it's cool just to wait for the Lord. Speaking of which, the Lord just spawned.
Yep, they're gonna sync up the waves at this point. I did see Alita actually pick up a Winds of Nature. Hopefully that's gonna make the difference here. Finally, Lina, third item in. He's got some relevant damage now. Let's see whether it's going to make a difference here. Because EVOS Holy, they want inhibs.
Alright. Now... Oh, goes in.
Alright, they didn't actually commit to the ult just yet. They quickly drop the Frigid Ice. They get the inhibitor, but now here comes the RWM. Shutting that backline. Airland, untouched. SOD has already been thrown out here as PS has created some space. They lose two inhibitors, a third one on the way, and they finally finish off that Lord. Whoa, man, Ivan's implosion getting canceled midway. Not the best to happen for him. They could have gotten a little bit more, but at what cost? Okay, very close still from outside the range. They finally get that last inhibitor turret, and EVOS Holy goes back to the macro. Wait for the next Lord.
After this, I think I need to get my eyes checked, because did I really see one Bennett shot doing half HP to Lina?
It did.
Nah, I can't be. I need to get my eyes checked. There's no way that that's the case.
With the items that he has, like, it could have been like a random crit for all we know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Yeah, it could be a crit. Literally, it could be a crit. But how fair is it that one shot is already half your HP? He almost double tapped Lina.
I mean, he's 5k ahead of Lina. Like,
okay, you know
I
what, that
mean,
makes sense.
he's so rich. Like, I looked at everybody else's items and was like, wait a minute, the gold doesn't really represent what's happening here. Like, where's the majority of it? And I saw Erlen's bank and, geez, this guy, he's coming up with some generational wealth.
At this point, he can inherit it for the next game because it looks like we are going to the next game because EVOS Holy 10k gold lead. AI Esports. Honestly, Lina and Alita need to make a miracle play. If Ying can somehow get a 5-man final slash, Alita now having the Malefic Gun, which, by the way, just to note, I haven't noticed this. Alita hasn't died once this game.
He's been playing it really, really well. Really, really well. Kiting very nicely, making sure that he's out of range for a majority of things. I think he only shows up after the implosion goes, or if he is like in the vicinity. He did lose his Purify the last fight, so I can only assume that he was able to, you know, clutch save himself.
Right now, it's still gonna be difficult for Alita, I feel, especially if Fluffy is able to get on top of him. Fluffy in this game having Vengeance is gonna be a real deal. Oh, Erland!
Oh, he jumps all the way into the back to force Erland to flicker away. Bennett's Rage is already out.
Back.
Does he want to go for it, though? I feel like it's a little risky, and it looks like Fluffy agrees as well. He's going to back away, just maintaining control over the battle lines, over No Man's Land. Okay, wait, hold on. The damage is actually relevant. Ying finds the final slash, gets two, able to get flickers from all three members. This is actually working out well. With Ying gone, the RWM is now unleashed. They need to get some trade breath. Frigid Breath is going to lock PS down more than enough for the Winter Crown to be popped just in time by Maykits to keep himself alive. And no, the Void Blast, the Rift, doesn't find him at the edge just yet. The next Frigid Breath puts another man in a coffin, and Alita is just left to just battle it out all by himself.
Yeah, honestly, I thought AI Esports could have done it. And Alita is actually doing a lot of damage onto Erland. He has to be careful. He's healing up with the Haas Claw. Alita is trying to manage the waves. Ivan goes in.
No, Purify manages to get on out of there, but it's too late. They didn't even need to fight. They went straight to work with the waves, right onto the crystal.